guys, it's Nancy and welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're all doing well. Summer months, can you believe that? I am so looking forward to summer. Pool days, salad recipes. Wow, I just cannot wait. Today I have though something that is kind of fun. You know, your kids may be home for summer. You're looking for recipes that are quick and easy to kind of get them out the door, maybe have some fun afternoons or mornings outside playing with their friends. How about something like a Hot Pocket? You know, puff pastry is so easy to work with. It's readily available. You can put anything in them that you want. They are also really tasty, you know, kind of a treat. And you can make these, pop them in the freezer, throw them in the air fryer whenever you want to warm them up and pass them out, you know. So, are you ready to see how it goes? Let's go.
Okay, let's start with our ingredients. You're going to need some puff pastry. I love the Trader Joe's puff pastry, and I have one sheet here. You're also going to need a filling. So for my filling today, I have some turkey. I also have this light mozzarella cheese, and of course you're going to need some eggs. So the best part about using eggs, if you're on the WW plan, of course, is that there's 0 points. So let's go ahead and scramble these eggs. And you know, you can get really creative with the filling of your puff pastry. Eggs again, cheese, veggies, that would all be really great in this recipe. But I'm going to go ahead and keep it kind of simple here. I'm going to go ahead and just add some turkey and cheese. And of course, we're going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper to season it up, because once it's in the puff pastry, that's it, you know. You won't be able to go back and add any seasoning. But one thing that I do want to add here is that don't overcook your eggs, because you know it's going to go into the oven. So make sure that you just kind of lightly scramble your eggs. You see I have the flame here really low. These eggs are scrambling, but just at a very low temperature, and I'm just kind of, you know, pushing them around because I don't want to get them over scrambled again. You know, just don't want to overcook them. So I'm going to just have a loosely scrambled egg here. So all right, I'm going to go ahead and add my turkey here. Sausage would be wonderful here, of course. Diced ham would be wonderful, but I'm going to go ahead and use what I have in the fridge. And this is 0 point deli turkey. So so far my filling is 0 points, which is really great. So if you're not on the WW plan, you're probably thinking, what the heck is a point? But you know, it's how we count, you know, calories, so to speak, in your food. So this is basically a low point or low calorie filling for our puff pastry. All right, now take a look at these eggs. You see they are kind of loose, you know, so really good. All right, I'm going to go ahead, preheat my oven to 400 degrees, get that going, because of course we want our puff pastry to cook. Speaking of our puff pastry, let's go ahead and add a little bit of flour to our clean and disinfected countertop. It's just easier to cook on it, or I'm sorry, to prepare the puff pastry directly on the countertop because you have more space to work, for me anyway. All right, so I'm going to use my roller pin to thin out this puff pastry. You know, it gives you, of course, more pieces of pastry to work with. I'm going to make 6 puff pastries today. If you are counting points, you can get 8 pieces of dough out of here. 1/8 of puff pastry is 8 points. So it's not a really low point dough, you know, but they are delicious. I love them. And it's because of all the butter. And it's so flaky. And again, the butter makes for a flaky dough. But we're going to use 6 pieces because I like the size that it comes off as 6 pieces. So our pieces will be maybe 9 points each. And, you know, with the egg and the turkey, 0 points, but we're going to add a little bit of cheese. And so it's probably going to make it closer to 10 points. So again, not a really low point puff pastry dish, but delicious all the same. All right, so let's continue to roll this dough out. And look at that, it's gotten nice and thin on us, and it's gonna look like a worn t-shirt by the time we're done here. The size of a good worn out t-shirt. So one thing that I do want to note is that, you know, you kind of want to move quickly here because, you know, I was mentioning to you that there's butter in this puff pastry. And so it will get, you know, too soft on you, and it's going to get difficult to work with. And you don't want to start tearing holes into your puff pastry. So, you know, don't get frantic, but work quickly enough to where, you know, it doesn't get too difficult. All right, so of course I am not perfect in my measurements, but I'm going to get 6 pieces of this puff pastry off of here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue this cut. We're going to go ahead and make it crosswise and lengthwise, and here are our 6 pieces. And you'll see we're going to fold these in, and so this is why we want to give it that size of a cut. And I mentioned to you that the 6 pieces, I like the size of it. All right, so we got our cookie sheet. We're going to use parchment paper and spray that parchment paper with a little bit of cooking oil. It just ensures that they don't stick. So we're going to go ahead and load those pieces of dough onto the cookie sheets, and go ahead and add the egg mixture onto that dough. And I'll show you how I fold these in. And you know, I may have mentioned this to you, but don't cook your egg mixture all the way through because, of course, they're going to bake in the oven. So, you know, leave them just a little wet so that your eggs are not overcooked. And then you want to add a little cheese topper onto your mixture of eggs. Someone can't wait to get one. Look at them sniffing around back there. All right, so once you add your egg mixture and you top it with cheese, you want to just fold it over like a little blanket. You know, tuck it in there. And then you want to make the sides, you want to kind of, you know, make the sides kind of like a seam, you know, and make sure that the seams are together so that nothing kind of escapes out. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's fine that it's a little rustic, but you want to ensure as best you can that your seams are together there so that nothing escapes. So there you go. You got one. And you just want to continue on and ensure that you get your mixture onto the pastry. So these are not going to be, you know, totally consistent in you know, in size and look, because they're going to vary a little differently, but that's okay because they're homemade. You know, you get these things from the grocery store and they're uniformed and exact, but when you make them from home, they look homemade and a bit rustic, and that's good, you know. For you bakers out there that are, you know, experienced and like to do things exact, you may be able to get a few more pieces out of this dough and have them look a bit better than mine. But these came out just fine for what I wanted them to do. All right, so there is number 2. You know, they remind me of hand pies a little bit, you know. But they look great once they come out of the oven. All right, so we're going to keep working here. I've just kind of sped the timer up on the camera here, or yeah, and we're just gonna, I'll show you what they look like. And the last thing we're going to do, of course, is get a bit of an egg white egg wash, and we're going to use the back of our fork here and just ensure that the seams are sealed properly on our pockets. All right, I mentioned to you that we were going to do an egg wash, and you know this is very simple. So you just want to get one egg. Of course, don't waste that yolk. Find something to do with that egg yolk, put it away, and maybe add it to your eggs the next morning or the same day, you know. So just take your egg white, whip it up really quickly there. Make sure it gets nice and fluffy on you. And then take your brush. I have a silicone brush here. Just add it to the top of your brush, over to the top of your puffs here, and it comes out so beautiful. It just adds such a beautiful dimension of color to the tops of your puffs, and it just, again, it looks so nice. So there you are. Let's get them in the oven, and they come out so beautifully. These were in the oven for approximately 12 minutes or so. Look at that cheese bubbling up. Just keep an eye on them. Make sure they get to the color that you want. Look at that. Gorgeous. I'm telling you, your kids will love these. You know, a lot of us do things in the summer, the camping, and or just a nice hike. This is perfect for something like that. Just grab and go. I think your family's really gonna love it. Which one should I try first? Let's see. So of course you got to be careful because it's a sealed kind of, you know, pouch of dough. So you don't want to be, you know, you want to make sure you don't burn yourself when you cut into it. But look at that. Look at the layers of dough, because again, all of the butter, but looks so delicious. The turkey and the cheese and the eggs, I'm telling you. It was just perfect, and it was so delicious, and the kitchen smelled fantastic.
Well, what did you think about that recipe? You know, really easy. You could do anything like ham. You could keep it all veggies. You know, you could make sausage and cheese and eggs, anything you want. Such a great recipe. You could even make it even a bit more sophisticated and do something like a pesto, you know? So really great. I hope that you enjoyed that recipe. I hope that it gives you maybe some ideas of what to do in your home, you know, with that recipe. If you did, leave it in the comments, you know, give us all some ideas on what to do. All right, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. I always forget to ask you to do that, but please subscribe if you haven't, and guess what? I will see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye!